What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Warframe walkthrough. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys may have gotten yourselves infected right here, and now that this thing is 7 days mature, we can finally get access to this back door over here. I can show you guys how to get this off of your neck, off your Warframe's necks. Now, keep in mind, before we do this, you have two options with this hickey right here. You can walk through this door, like we're going to do. I'm going to show you guys what that all looks like, and you can get that taken off. Or you guys can actually keep the hickey on there, come over here. Once you guys have a Kubro egg, it says I still need an incubator power core, which we want to go buy from the market. It says right here, power cores can be built in the foundry. The recipe is available in the market. So I already went to the market and bought a power core over here. So I basically just show you guys. Went over here, I typed InQ, that came up, and then I went over to this, right? We don't want to buy it for platinum because that's a waste of plat. When we can just buy the blueprint right here, and then we can really just, you know, I already bought one or whatever, but we buy the blueprint. These are all the resources we need. All I need is Argon Crystal, which is in the Void. We don't have access to yet, so I'm going to have somebody carry me there, or I could just wait until I get there in order to build that. But once we get that, I can build the incubator core over here in the foundry, and then once it's built in the foundry, I can take it out of the foundry, and I will have one that I can use in here. So once we have an egg, a power core, we have an open slot for stasis, and we have no active pets in here, which, you know, it's new to the game. We don't have any pets yet. Then we have no active pets. We can actually start our Kubro breeding process, or a Kubro incubating process, and then we'll have a really cool Kubro. You guys will see that probably in the next episode or two. But basically, oh yeah, that was the other thing. So once you get all that done, you guys can come over here, and there's going to be an option for you guys to drain the cyst that's on your neck onto the Kubro egg. And instead of you getting a Kubro, you guys are going to get an infested charger pet. They look pretty badass, and they're definitely pretty cool looking, or just pretty cool in general. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and take this off so you guys can see what this looks like. Secure cyst. And that was wonderful. So basically, it's not gonna. That cyst should never show up on my Xcal ever again. For as long as I have this frame, that cyst will never pop up. That is the ultimate cure for the cyst, or at least at this point in the game, it is. And yeah, I will not be able to drain it. I won't be able to get it again to drain it on a Kubro egg, so to make a charger pet. So you guys be picky with which frames you cure and which ones you don't. If you are liking the charger pets and all that sort of stuff. So now that that's done, let's get into what we're up to and stuff like that. So we're on Mars, right? And we have the series Junction here. It says defeat the Sergeant on Iliad on Phobos, right? Defeat Lech Krill, War on Mars, and then defeat 300 Aragornir enemies on Mars. So basically, as you guys go through this, you're gonna wind up killing those enemies. War is over here. This is the assassination for Lieutenant Lech Krill. I'm going to get into this in another video and walk you guys through really how to beat this guy or whatever. And then as far as the sergeant, the surgeon, he's not really that much of a pain in the butt. You guys really, you just go in and kill him, and that's not that big of a deal. But you know what? Maybe we'll get into this in this video. I'll show you guys how to do this. But as far as Phobos goes, so over here we have defeat 150 enemies in a single mission on Mars. So for that one, I really just picked, where is it? This. No, it's not that one. This one right here. I picked this one because it's a survival, so I can basically stay in this mission as long as I want and get all the kills I need until I hit 150 and then get out. But you're not limited to this one. You guys can really do this on almost any mission. You guys can just, you know, get kills and stuff like that whenever. As you guys are playing through this. But it's all got to be in one mission, though. Just keep that in mind if you're getting 150. The 3 Cephalon Fragments, basically what you guys want to do for the 3 Cephalon Fragments is you guys want to go to any of the missions on Mars, and you guys want to scan this this little picture here. When you guys see it in the mission, you want to scan this little thing, and they pop up randomly like where they show up. But that's the Cephalon Fragment, and it kind of gives you a little bit of lore. Once you guys have, I guess, all the Cephalon Fragments scanned for a particular level, you guys are going to find, let's see where it is here, Fragments. once you guys have all the fragments for a particular place scanned, you guys are going to have, like, for example, this is going to turn into a picture. This picture is going to open up completely once you get all the scans, you know, that you need to get. So you'll unlock this picture, and there are all these pictures here that you guys can go scan in the game and stuff on the different planets and everything from the Cephalon fragments. Once you get everything scanned, you guys are going to be able to go into your, let's say, equipment here, and I know I was gifted on stream these decorations, like these, oh my god, what are they called? They're like displays. That's what they're called. They're called displays. So basically you guys can buy these displays from the market, and let's just type this in here, display, here, like these displays and stuff like that. You guys can buy these. They're basically just posters. They're picture frames, and those Cephalon fragments, when they unlock pictures, you guys can use those pictures to hang up in here. Now, if you don't do any of the Cephalon fragment stuff, if you don't complete any of them, get any pictures, it's not that big of a deal, because when you buy a frame, you're going to have access to a bunch of pictures that are kind of like stock pictures anyway, and all of them look pretty cool, so it's not really a bad deal either way if you guys wanted to dress your ship up at some point in the future. I don't recommend doing any of that stuff now. I don't recommend spending any of your plat or any of that stuff on... or any of that stuff on anything that isn't like a Warframe slot or a weapon slot right now. Maybe even catalyst reactors. For the most part, Warframe and weapon slots. That's what you guys want to be focused on right now in the game, is you want to get as much of those as you possibly can. And, yeah. And then the very last thing it says down there is refine a void relic once at a console. Get out of the way. In your orbiter. So, okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you guys how to refine a relic in your orbiter. So... these relics that you guys should have picked up any amount of relics by the time you guys have gotten this far. So basically we're going to go over here, and I'm picking any relic. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter right now. But basically what's happening is you guys are going to do fissure missions. And when you do the fissure missions, which I'll show you where they are in a second, you're going to do these missions, and these little yellow like things are going to drop from the yellow glowy enemies. Basically what happens is a tear rips open in the void, and it kind of like shocks these enemies, and it infects them. It infects them with like void energy, and they turn yellow. And once they turn yellow, like this shiny yellow, you can kill them, and they will randomly drop these like yellow, little yellow like orbs or relics or whatever you want to call them looking things. You want to pick up 10 of those per fissure mission that you do. You need to get 10 of them to unlock the relic that you have equipped. If you don't pick up 10 of them, your relic will not be unlocked. Your relic also won't be wasted, so that's a good thing too. If you get through a mission and you forget to get all 10, or maybe you're in a mission with like on public and a whole bunch of randoms just speed to the end of the mission before you get 10, you will not lose the relic that you brought with you on that mission. The only time you lose any of the relics you ever use is when you crack them open. And once you crack them open, you have a shot at any of the items that are in here. So now this is really just how you do it. You click on a relic, and you basically say, all right, I want to make this exceptional, flawless, or radiant. Any one of these counts as you radianting a relic. So for now, we're just going to do flawless, because that's what I got right now. So we'll do flawless on there, and relic refined. Okay, and now I have right here that Lith N2 relic that I used. I had 4 of them. Now I have 3 of them, and I have 1 of them that says flawless. So just so you guys are aware, right, that's how that works right there. Now, now that we've done that, we should actually be able to get into here, into this series Junction right here, and do this. But before we do this, we're going to go defeat Lieutenant Lech Krill. And again, just to show you guys that it's doable without you really, like knowing really what to do, I'm just going to go ahead and do this as, like my Xcal is right now. So I'll go and show you guys the quick build that I have on him, so you guys can see that I haven't made myself that powerful yet. Even though I kind of have the ability to increase my stats on a lot of things, I'm kind of keeping myself at a low level because I don't think a lot of you guys are going to be rushed through the game as fast as I'm getting myself rushed through the game. So, as you guys can see right here, this is the build I have on here. There's nothing super important about this. This is totally unnecessary. It's just something that I prefer having on because I like moving faster through the game when I play it. But you guys, this doesn't really do anything for you but increase your movement speed with your Warframe. So this is totally useless for a lot of you guys right now. It's not really going to help really with anything for the most part. This flow right here is going to increase my max energy. So my energy up here on Xcal is now 300 because I have this flow on here. What this stretch does is, this is the ability range. So for this Xcal, what I like using on him is his blind ability, because that basically is it's in a sense, it's a crowd control ability, and that's a big deal in Warframe. Having, you know, like taking advantage of the Warframe's crowd control abilities is key a lot of the times in the game. So I have this completely maxed, and that basically took my range up to from 100 to 145. So now I'm affecting way more enemies in a larger radius. And then we have Streamline, which I still haven't gotten the regular version of yet, but no worries, we'll wind up getting it as we progress through the game. This is the damaged version of it, which is why I still have not gotten rid of, which is why I haven't increased the strength of the mod. And then we have the Vitality on over here for the health. So really, this is the build that I'm going to be rocking. This build is not ideal for what I'm about to do. So I will definitely have another series out of how to beat the bosses, like, you know, the ideal builds and the ideal ways to beat the bosses and stuff. And when that, I guess, video comes out, if you guys find yourself stuck or anything like that, you can always, you know, just check that video. If the video has not come out by the time that you guys, you know, like, get to the war, the boss on war, all you guys really have to do is just put your game on public. You guys can press the start button, or the escape button, or whatever it is, and you go up here, and you just put your game on public. And then whenever you go do that mission, you know, the war mission, just wait until other people join your mission. Like, don't go anywhere as soon as you spawn in until other people join. And chances are those other people are going to know how to beat him. They're probably just farming, you know, the boss for, like, Warframe parts and stuff. And they'll basically be able to carry you through it and stuff. So as far as the gun that I have on here, let's take a look. Upgrade. We've got, this is all I really have on here. The Serration, I really cannot wait to make this even stronger, because this is so key, this particular mod. All the main damage mods for all of your weapons, your melees, your primaries, and your secondaries, they're key, and you want them maxed out as fast as you possibly can. But just for the sake of showing you guys that, you know, if you don't have enough endo, if you don't have all that, you can still do it. It's still possible. So that's what we're going to be doing right here. These two are really just so I could add some kind of status on here, which right now I have Viral, and that's basically Viral is going to be cutting the enemy's health in half. And Split Chamber is basically just taking the damage that I originally had and doubling it, or at least adding 90% multi-shot. So it's adding 90% to the damage that I already have on this build. And that's what's up with that. As far as this weapon right here, this Haiku Prime, we're going to look at... probably not even going to use this too much. I don't really get into my secondaries that often when I'm playing the game. I typically build my secondaries for a, you know, key type of enemy, like nullifiers or a pain in the butt. So maybe I'll have a secondary built for just killing nullifiers. But this Hornet Strike is the equivalent of the Serration I just showed you. This is the one that I'd want to max out first on my like, you know, secondary weapons. And then we have Puncture, because the weapon was already a Puncture anyway, so I threw this on here. Going to increase the Puncture a lot. Let's see, this is Electricity, Heat, and Electricity and Heat's gonna, in a combination, is going to give us Radiation. So Radiation is really cool. You guys want to throw on, let's see, Gunslinger, Fire Rate, and yeah, these really don't matter. The most important thing is that you have a Hornet Strike on here, and that's pretty maxed out, or at least, you know, as much as you can get it. And then as far as the melee weapon here, which I have been, I guess, like, I was gifted a skin. So now this Orthos Prime, which when you guys get it, you're not going to see it like that. This actually has a forest camo skin on here, which is gifted to me, because everyone knows this is 100% my favorite weapon in the game. This is, like, that's it without it. That's the Orthos without the forest camo skin. This is with it. So we're going to leave that on there. But basically, everybody knows that this is my favorite melee weapon to use in the game. And, yeah, they basically just kind of hooked me up, which, thank you guys for doing that on stream. That was amazing. And this is a build that I have on this. I maxed the hell out of this build already, just because I love this. A lot of these things you guys are going to have already, but I'm a big melee user in the game, so I totally maxed this out. We got Shimmering Blight on here, which is going to affect the way that my weapon swings. All these aura mods here, when you throw them on melee weapons, affect the movement of the way you use the melee weapon. So all these like stance mods, not an aura mod, stance mods. All these stance mods are really cool. Definitely collect them and try them all out, because they do make you look cool in different ways when you use them. If I took this off and put a different polearm thing on here, I would be swinging my melee weapon around. It would look totally different. So these are cool mods. They change up the way you look when you use your melee weapons. Then we have Pressure Point. This is the equivalent of Serration and Hornet Strike. This is one we want completely maxed. Also, it's a bronze, and I recommend you guys max this out first. Like, immediately max this out. Whereas the Serration and and Hornet Strike. I didn't max those out. They're gold, silver mods. They take a little bit more endo and credits in order to max out. But this is only a 5 spot, and it's a bronze, so it's really, really cheap for you guys to max this out. And this mod you will be using for majority of your playthrough through the game until you wind up getting yourself a primed pressure point, which is going to be the most ideal thing for you guys. For your melee weapons. So then we have Fury on here, which is going to make me hit faster. This is ideal because if you can hit enemies more times in 1 second, you're getting more of this damage per second on them. So speed is definitely a big deal. And then Berserker over here is going to increase the attack speed whenever we get a critical hit. So there's going to be a little symbol that pops up here in this part of the screen right here when I wind up getting a critical hit on an enemy, and it'll be a little timer, and it'll start counting down, letting me know how many seconds I have left before this extra speed runs out. So this is cool, because now with this speed on top of a critical hit and the Fury, it makes me swing the weapon really, really fast. And all those extra hits per second that I'm able to get in is only just going to kill the enemy a lot faster. And then we have a Jagged Edge, which is the slash mod, because a lot of the melee weapons in the game are slash based. Not all of them, but most of the melee weapons in the game kind of focus around slash. Because basically that's what you're doing with a melee weapon. And then we have Reach, which is extending my range for the Orthos, or weapons that are polearms. I got great range on here on these weapons, on the polearmed weapons or the staff weapons. So Reach is a good mod for those kinds of weapons. And then we have Melee Prowess, which is a status chance. So I basically got my status from, I think it was at 15. It's up to 17.3 now. That's not a big deal. We can get that up higher with better mods as we play through the game. And then we have Shocking Touch and Fever Strike, which is basically just adding a corrosive damage. Corrosive damage is going to cut through armor on enemies that have, like, you know, that yellow layer over their health bar. So that's what corrosive is good for, is cutting their armor down. And now with all that being said and all that we have on here, let's go into this mission, and you guys can take a look at how we're going to have to kill Lieutenant Lech Krill. Alright, so we got Lieutenant Lech Krill right here in this battle. So this is what you guys want to know about Mr. Lieutenant Lech Krill. So he's got this backpack on his back, and that is his, basically, how you guys are going to have to kill him. You have to focus on his backpack, and he's going to do ground slams like that. And when he does, that's ideally when he becomes vulnerable. Like right now, if you guys see his health bar is, well now, once he gets himself frozen, that's a good time to attack. But right now his health bar is gray. That means he can't take any damage and we can't hurt him. I'm using Excal's second ability right there so I can blind the map, because I noticed I was taking a lot of damage really fast. But ultimately what we want to do is, he's got, oh, I saw it a second ago. He totally had like a pipe on his back kind of burst out. That's what we want. We want him to get that pipe all bursted out and stuff. And I definitely need some energy right now because I'm about to die and I can't keep myself alive if I don't have energy to blind these fools. And that didn't help, breaking open that. So, worst case scenario, if you guys find this a little too difficult, you can always put it on a public match and just have other people carry you through it. You don't have to tell them that they're gonna, you know, that you need them to carry you through it. Just put the mission on, go do it with your game on public, and then don't go anywhere until people join. And they won't even know that you're not capable or you don't have mods, you know, to do it. They'll just play the mission. They're here to beat it too, so they're gonna whoop his butt, and they're basically gonna get him killed for you. But his pipe should be, there he goes. So once he freezes himself, that's what you guys want to do. You guys want to basically shoot his backpack. And he goes through stages, Lieutenant Lech Krill. So you're going to have to do it a few times, and he goes through these different elemental stages that you guys are going to basically, you know, have to deal with him going through before you actually get the final kill on him. So he's not frozen. You guys see how his health is still gray. I can't do anything to him. We need to get his hammer stuck in the ground and get him frozen. So we can do that by kind of like getting near him so he slams at us. Because if you stay too far away from him, he doesn't do the ground slam most of the time. So there it is. But now, that didn't count because he didn't freeze himself, which makes him kind of a pain in the butt of an enemy. Because he doesn't 100% of the time when he slams the ground get himself frozen, so It's definitely something you gotta have patience on when you're fighting him. So right now we got him to the point where he is definitely taking damage. He's not like, you guys can see his health, it's got the yellow bar on it. So now he's taking fire damage, as you guys can see. I'm taking all kinds of damage. But it doesn't matter, we're gonna beat him. So yeah, he's about dead, and there it is. So he just died, and that's really it, you guys. All the mobs that I showed you, I did that solo. I'm not on public when I did it, but if you guys need help, there's no shame in going public. It just helps it helps you get through it a lot faster if you're getting frustrated trying to kill him. So that goes for all of the bosses and everybody that you guys are going to have to kill. Definitely do a public if you don't want it to take years. So since we've killed him, we got ourselves the Frost Neuroptics blueprint. Now Frost is going to be the first Warframe that I show you guys, basically like how to forma, or, you know, like basically how formas work and stuff like that, because Frost is a great frame, especially for helping you guys get through the game. And I just happen to already have a Frost that is built and ready to go. So we just got our message from the Stalker, our little Threatsky over here, so he's going to be coming after us, which that's totally fine since we're the ones that killed Lieutenant Lech Krill. But here's what we're going to do. I already got a bunch of Warframes together, and basically you get a lot of these from killing bosses, so I'm just going to show you guys what we want to do with our Frost. So with our Frost right here, we're going to go to Upgrade, and we're going to wind up going to Actions over here. And what we want to do is, we want to add double your mod capacity, install Orokin reactor. So basically, the Orokin reactors, you guys definitely want to get these. They pop up in alerts. Occasionally, they pop up on, I guess, like invasion missions and stuff when you guys get to that point of the game. But Orokin reactors are key for your Warframes. You definitely want to put Orokin reactors on your Warframes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to notice Frost is rank 30. So that's awesome. We can put a reactor on our Frost, and once we install this reactor, the mod capacity is going to get an extra 30 capacity. So now I have 34. I have 34 more space on Frost to just be able to add more mods and stuff like that, which is awesome. So basically, we're just going to keep building it. That's going to help us build more of our Frost. The second thing that we want to do is you guys want to learn how to polarize and forma, right? So this is where we're going to polarize and forma. And as far as Frost goes, what we're looking to do is we're looking to put a polarity on here that's going to have to do with a lot of the way that we want to play our Frost. So this is going to be unique to you guys and how you guys want to do this. Don't necessarily copy what I'm doing as far as what polarity I use, because it's all going to be based off playstyle and everything like that. So what you guys want to do basically is go to the abilities. You want to read through these, and you want to think about what ability do you like using the most, right? So, you know, his freeze ability, which basically he shoots at enemies and freezes them. His ice wave, which shoots an ice wave at enemies and freezes them. His snow globe, which basically is like your defense. It's your shield. It's great for... This is the reason why Frost is going to be great for so much of the things that you guys are going to do, you know, helping... This is why he's great for carrying you guys through the game, is his snow globe ability. And then his avalanche, which is like his oh crap button. If you guys find yourself about to die or you're in some like deep water, this is ultimately the ability you want to use. But for now, we're going to build him for his snow globe ability, which right now it says radius, so stretch is a big deal on him. And then what else are we going to have? Health. So the health of the snow globe is going to be based off of power strength. I know it doesn't necessarily say that, or maybe it does. Steep freezes of vapor moisture, creating a protective sphere, brief invulnerability to boost its strength. So there's the word strength right there. They hint. They're not always obvious in these abilities, but they do hint at it as far as what works best per ability. So right now, strength is a good idea for Frost. And that being the case, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Upgrade Frost. And I know this V polarity right here for Intensify is good for strength right now. So what I could do is, being that this is taking up 11, you guys, this is another thing you want to focus on. If you're going to forma a Warframe, you don't want to forma the Warframe for, you know, polarities that take up very little space. Like, let's pretend that... Okay, here's a good example. Like, this stretch mod is maxed out, and it only takes up 9 capacity. Whereas this Intensify is maxed out and it takes up 11 capacity. So between this taking up 11 and this taking up 9, I would rather put a polarity on this build for this mod because it takes up more space. If we can cut that space in half, we're saving more space that way. So basically, whatever's higher, whatever mod when it's maxed out takes up more room, that's the polarity that you want to put on, you know, like that's what you want to forma for. Like Constitution, for example. I can't even take it off of this because this Constitution fully maxed out takes up 13 space. So I definitely want to have it on this polarity with the dash where it fits. So instead of it taking up 13, it only takes up 7 capacity. So basically that's what we want to do. So I'm just going to put a forma on this Frost right here. And you guys are going to get to see what happens. He's going to reset once I do that. If we look up here, auto capacity, it says 65, 5 out of 65. Once I forma this Frost, which I'm going to do right now, so we're going to put a V right there. You can keep selecting these until you find the one you want, the polarity you want, but we want a V polarity for that Intensify mod that's on there right now. So I'm going to apply this. Applying new polarity will expand a forma and reset this item to unranked. Are you sure? Yes. So it's going to reset the Warframe. If you do this on weapons, it's going to reset the weapon, which basically means now if we go to my, my build right here, I lost half my mods because they don't fit on here anymore. And now I only have 21 capacity. The reason why I have 21 total capacity is it's based off of my mastery rank. So right now I'm a mastery rank 8 in Warframe. And basically what that's doing is that's giving me an extra 16 capacity. So that, let's see, let's go here to an empty build. Here we go, 16 out of 16, because this is now empty. The reason why that's more is because I put a corrosive projection on here, and that added points to this. It actually added 5 points right there. So if I go to a blank build, we're looking at 16 out of 16 because of Master Rank 8. When I get to Master Rank 9, this will say 18 out of 18. If I get to Master Rank 10, it'll say 20 out of 20. And basically, the higher your Master Rank, the more stuff you're going to be able to fit on here. Now, some of you guys are going to be like, wait a minute, I just formatted and followed what you're doing, and this only says 8 out of 8. Why does it do that? Well, it's because I put the Orokin reactor on this frame, like I did a minute or two ago. So that Orokin reactor, basically, it's going to add an extra 30 capacity that you guys have the ability to put on here, but that's only going to be an extra 30 at a maxed rank weapon or Warframe. So right now, all it's doing, that that Orokin reactor, is adding just an extra, basically 8 on top of the 8 that I already should have on here. So the Orokin reactors are very important. They're very ideal. Before you guys spend all this time formatting and resetting your Warframes, put an Orokin reactor on your frame first, because you'll find that there are some frames in the game that don't need any forma at all. Unless you really want to make them end game viable. If you really want to be able to go through end game and just totally kill it in the end games. But for now, just know that the reactors are the first thing you want to put on there, usually before you form a Warframe. But yeah, now that we have that on there, we have this extra slot right here, so I can throw an Intensify on if I had room. Which really doesn't matter what I'm doing here. For the most part, that's basically what you guys need to know about formatting your frames and all that sort of stuff. And the other thing I wanted to go over is, back before we talked about scanning, those items and stuff, and you got a Codex Scanner here. But where do you get the Codex Scanner? Well, you get it actually exactly here, where I'm in right now. So I'll back out again, I'll show you. You guys go to Gear, you pick any slot that you want your Codex Scanner to be in, so it doesn't matter which one you pick. And then basically just go to the Codex Scanner. When you double-click the Codex Scanner, you're going to have an option to buy it for 500 credits, which is really cheap, and that's fine for now. In the future, you guys are going to get, like I showed you in a previous video, that widget you can put on your scanner so that you get infinite number of scans. But for now, until you guys get that, this is fine. Just basically buy it for 500 credits, put it on here, and just always have it on your Warframe. So whenever you are in missions or whatever, you guys are going to be able to scan stuff. And yeah, you guys are going to be able to scan stuff, and it's going to help you get through the game and basically give you kind of like a little ability to unlock stuff. So really quick, let's go over here to the series Junction. I may have nothing on this frame, but I know my weapons are pretty solid. So whatever build I just had on my Frost, I wasn't even paying attention. I don't remember what it is, but I'm just going to show you guys. For the most part, it doesn't really matter. We're still pretty young in the game, and we're going to be able to beat this guy, whatever. Oh shit, I can't use my Warframe abilities, but you know what? It looks like it don't matter. Or does it? Okay. So good. I'm actually glad we died. You guys can see what happens if that happens. Yeah, I had a feeling my melee weapon was a little stronger. So anyway, we just killed Trinity, the Warframe. Trinity is an amazing, amazing Warframe. Trinity is the MVP of the lore, of the first two raids, the lore and the Nightmare lore. So you guys definitely want to get yourself a Trinity. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm throwing on my X-Cal. I'm throwing my X-Cal back on, and we're just gonna have my X-Cal on for when we do the next little junction thing that we were doing. And I'm going to show you guys now getting to this junction, which I'm glad we're getting to Phobos, because once we get to Phobos, we're going to have a direct route to the Void, which is going to be great, because I definitely needed them Argon crystals at this point in the game to start building more things that we've been purchasing from the market to build in the Foundry to help us get our mastery rank up and all that wonderful stuff. So alright, here we go. We got this Mag Spectre right here, and holy shit, I think I hit her with like one swipe of whatever. So that's amazing. X-Cal is definitely cool. Mag is an amazing Warframe. I went over her in the first episode. You guys definitely... This isn't really the best way to look at her, but you know what? She's an awesome Warframe, and that was pretty simple. Just so you guys can see, it's not really that difficult, but basically how fast I killed him was because when I showed you guys earlier what the mods look like on my melee weapon, the melee weapon with Warframes like X-Cal, the mods you have on your melee weapon will stack with his Warframe ability, the one that I just used, which is why I was able to kill that Mag Spectre like in one swipe, and there was no challenge whatsoever. There was nothing to it. It's because of how powerful my melee was, so when I used X-Cal, totally just wiped Mag like away like she didn't even exist. So this is awesome. Now we have the Stolen Dreams quest, which is cool. And like I said previously, I'm going to go through these quests. If there's anything that I feel that you guys need to know, I will include it in this series. But for the most part, if the quest is really just a run through and it's not like, you know, I have to show you guys anything and there's nothing you specifically need to know, then I'm not really going to include it. So when we come back, I might actually have that. And the Cypher Blueprint, you guys, build these. If you guys don't like hacking consoles and stuff like that, you guys can build ciphers in your Foundry. And once you guys have those ciphers built in your Foundry, you guys are actually going to be able to equip them in your gear, which is where I showed you where you put your Codex Scanner a couple of minutes ago. So you guys can basically go build the Cypher Blueprints. Like here, the Incubator Power Core, we need Argon Crystals. So that's why the Void is definitely ideal for us to want to get to. But here we go. I can build this. Okay, it's going to take 1 minute to build. And then once that's completely built, I can pull it out of the Foundry. I can go over here again to my gear. And I'm going to be able to put it on an empty slot. Because, you know, once I pull out of the Foundry, it'll show up here. But for now, that's all you guys really need to know for now. I'm going to get through more missions and get us a little bit further so I can show you guys what the next steps are going to be. But as you guys are going through this, basically all you guys really want to do is just complete as much missions as you can. Get as far along through the solar system so that you get everything unlocked as much as you can. And yeah, you guys, we're going to pick this up in the next video. Again, if you have any questions or anything like that, you guys can reach me on Twitter and all that sort of stuff. But for now, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love your faces, and I will see you guys in the next episode.